be popular. I'll teach you the proper poise when you talk to boys. Little ways to flirt and glance. I'll show you what shoes to wear, how to fix your hair. Everything that really counts to be popular. I'll help you be popular. You'll hang with the right cohorts. You'll be good at sports. Know the slang you've got to know. So let's start, 'cause you've got an awfully long way to go.
Joining us now is Brittney Johnson. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
Fabulous. It's really good to see you. I like that you're wearing yellow because it reminds me of the Yellow Brick Road and all these kind of like magical things in life. But we're here today to talk about your success. Congratulations. How are you doing? Are you like overjoyed?
Thank you. I really am. I feel really blessed. I feel very blessed. I had a great run in Wicked, and now I'm off to all of my next adventures, and I'm creating, and I'm in a great place.
So the day of this taping, you're actually preparing for Birdland. So what's going to be happening there for you?
Yes, so I am doing my very first solo concert at Birdland Jazz this Monday, which is May 1st. I'm so excited. I curated a list of songs by artists who have really influenced me in my career. And it really is just a chance for me to kind of be vulnerable with an audience and talk to them about my journey and development as an artist and as a human, and the other artists who have influenced that, the songs that have influenced that, and to have an intimate evening with an audience as me, for the first time, not as a character, just as me.
That's such a distinction because, in a way, what do I mean by that? So when I started my television show, I had really never appeared as me. It takes a lot of confidence to go out and be you, as you, right? So prior to that, I had played roles. I had done some parts. I actually was like an extra once on a soap opera, and I did some film work, and I found it to be interesting I could always become somebody. I could always be a character, right? But there's such a level of vulnerability when it's you doing you. So congratulations, that's so amazing. And what will we be like? What are the song choices? Like, what is the audience in store for?
It really runs the gamut because that really is who I am. I have so many different influences because of how I grew up. And so I've got some Mariah Carey, some Barbara Streisand, a little bit of musical theater thrown in there, some Sondheim, and a little bit of country and folk. It really runs the gamut and tells what I think is a more complete picture of who I think I am, as opposed to just what I've been able to show in my career on Broadway, which has truly been expansive still, and I'm very grateful. But I feel like I needed to be a little bit more honest about who I am.
I love that. So you've been in Les Mis, Motown the Musical, Beautiful, the Carole King Musical, Sunset Boulevard. You've been doing so many things. Recently, as we had mentioned, Glinda for Wicked. So you found out, I guess it was, or did you already know that it was going to be the Valentine's Day show where you made your debut? Like, how did that moment happen where they're like, hey, 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 they call you up? What's that like?
Well, so I had already been in Wicked. I started off in the ensemble of Wicked in 2018, and I was understudying Glinda. And then, so I did that for a year, and then I was promoted to be the standby. I did that for a year, except the pandemic happened halfway through that. So during the pandemic, I actually found out that I was going to be taking over for Glinda in February when we came back. The actual date wasn't told to me until a little bit later when we ironed out the contract. But February 14th has been a special day for me in my career, actually. I've had some other really exciting things happen to me on Valentine's Day. So
really, share with us. Yeah, share with us a couple of things. So Valentine's Day just rings true for you. I love that. So tell us how the love. I was gonna say, tell us how the love has shined forth on February 14th for you.
Yeah, well, of course, I made my history making debut in Wicked on Valentine's Day, and then a few years prior, when I was in Les Mis on Broadway, that's actually the day that I was playing Eponine, but I came in on a 2-show day, and my stage manager was like, "Would you like to play Fantine this morning?" And so I got to play Fantine for the matinee, and then Eponine for the evening show on Valentine's Day. That was certainly a day I'll never forget because I made my Fantine debut that day.
That's
So
fantastic. So yeah, I think we should just like put that like in your Wikipedia. It should just be like, and February 14th is always lucky for Brittney, right? When you
exactly.
when you talked about your childhood and how that's influencing your solo show at the Birdland, what did you mean by that? Like, where did you grow up? What type of music did you listen to? How did that,
Yeah,
I guess, become the tapestry, if you will, of your journey?
sure. I grew up in Washington, D.C., and I went to a Quaker school. I went to Sidwell Friends School in DC. And so at Sidwell, we had, it was a multicultural, just melange of people. And so I would go to a friend's house and I'd hear, rock or country or, um, folk music. And then at home, there'd be gospel and like soft rock and classic rock and, um, Motown and so I really was influenced by so many different types of music, and I was able to kind of figure out what I liked because I heard so much of it.
Have you ever been able to meet somebody at the theater that's watched one of your performances, but they happen to be like a legend in your mind? Have you ever like had an experience where you're like, oh, like you've been such a fan of someone's and they came up to you and they were like a fan of yours? Have you had that experience yet?
Um, I have. I'm trying to think of like a specific circumstance because I've been able to meet and work with some really incredible people, um, namely Kristen Chenoweth. Um, and Glenn Close. That was an incredible
Oh,
experience working with her.
wow.
But while I was in Wicked, LaShawns actually came to see me, and I got to meet her and talk to her afterwards. And it's such an interesting experience to have somebody who you've admired and you've grown up listening to tell you how wonderful they think you are. And you're like, do you know who you are? Why? you know,
Giggles and a lot of blushing, right? But I love that
so
for
much.
you.
Just kidding,
Yeah.
just kidding more.
I can see, me too. I'm happy for you because those are those moments like when you just have access, I guess you will, access to opportunities and one thing's leading to the next and it's a collaboration of efforts and an ensemble great cast and so congratulations on all the things you're doing. Super happy for you about Birdland.
Thank you.
I know the reviews are going to be wonderful, and I also know that in the past you've also you were coaching people through Booked It. So I know you're not taking new clients now, but for those that you've played a part in their journeys, that's also wonderful. So I applaud you for that, Brittney. So
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will be opening up my roster again, probably in August.
okay,
Um, so what Booked It Studios is, it's a training studio that I founded. I train students, I train industry professionals, anybody who wants to get hone their craft more in whether it's theater, musical theater. I help with film and television auditions, all of that. You can find all of that at Booked It Studios. Um, yeah.
I love that you love to give back. That's awesome. It was so nice to spend this time with you. I wish we could, visit a little bit longer, but continued success to you on your journey. It's so wonderful
Thank
that you
you.
were here today and nothing but the best to you. So, way to go, Brittany. Yay, Brittney Johnson.
Thank you. Thank you so
Woo!
much for having me.
Oh my gosh, I loved it. And let's do it again another time, like maybe we'll do something if you got other big news to share, I would be happy and honored to share it here. So happiness to you. Oh wait, I have one other question before we wrap up. Is there a certain warm up that you love to do every morning, a morning routine that you do with your voice where you guys could become friends, you and your voice become one?
I do my warm-ups right before a show, but in the morning what I like to do is wake up and journal. So that's the first thing I do every time I wake up. I wake up and I just get everything that's on my mind just out so that I can feel refreshed and ready for the day.
There you go. Brittney, the book, coming up soon. Be well. Thank you, Brittney. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.